Welcome everyone to the Jewelry Peeps call. We're talking Christmas jewelry. It's almost July, but we're going to talk Christmas jewelry in June. And I noticed one thing when I was pulling up a lot of this stuff is that it's mostly brooches, mostly Christmas brooches. Not a whole lot of necklaces and bracelets and earrings. There is that out there, but majority of what I think we would be looking for is brooches. So I tried to find as much as I could on the other stuff, but just a little. So I'm going to share my screen. And of course, the first one we have to talk about is the Juliana one. Is this the one that you've seen, Carrie?
Yep. Actually, there's
Okay.
two. And so I pulled up both, but I think one lady's wrong.
Okay, good. I thought there was like a couple Christmas pins that they made, and they did not make a whole lot under the Juliana name, of course. If it's D&E, it might be different, but I'm just talking the Juliana pins. So I just wanted to point out there's only a couple Juliana. No matter what you look at on eBay, Etsy, all of them, there's only a couple. You'll see them listed as Juliana over and over and over again. So I thought I would pull this one out and distinguish that. I did use AI to help me determine what are the best sellers on eBay. So it kind of guided me through here. I'm going to read through some of this. So this was the other one. I just wanted to point out Lucinda put out Christmas pins, and it's unbelievable what some of these little cardboard and resin pins sell for. So I never realized there's this round one that sold for 396 bucks. And Carrie's going to go through a lot more of this. I'm just kind of summarizing here. So I just wanted to show you some of the values of some of these. 100, 80, 75, 69. I mean, I sorted by highest to lowest, and of course there's some lower priced ones, but a majority of their Christmas ones sell well. So if you see any even the Halloween ones do well. So keep an eye out for Lucinda holiday pins. All right, so AI helped me break this down into tiers. We've got the budget tier, which is a $5 to $15 range, mid-tier, premium tier, and luxury tiers. So you'll know what to look for when you're, out searching, trying to decide if this Christmas pin's worth buying. So the budget tier ones, the lower priced ones are popular with casual buyers, crafters, and gift shoppers. They're going to want them the cheapest they can get them. They'll probably want free shipping. It says they're often sold with free shipping, and they're priced to move quickly. So, and it consists of unbranded, vintage, rhinestone tree brooches. You'll see a lot of them. Simple enamel Santas, wreaths, and snowflake pins. Some of the small holiday brooch lots are probably your best bet for this. It's funny when you search these, it's so irritating to me because what's this have to do with Christmas, these three pins? It's not in the title. So what some of these people are doing is putting Christmas, and they're putting every occasion in every one of their listings. And it brings up such a wide variety like these. Are these Christmas pins? No, 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 no. So it's hard to search for something like this. But you're better off like doing a lot of some of the cheaper ones to bring your values up when you're talking them small priced ones. Here's another nice one with some boxed ones. Sold for $20. So you can see they're worth $5 a piece. Then we have, let's see, what is this? This is the Christmas tree. This is the mid-tier. And mid-tier consists of like Liz Claiborne, Avon, and Monet. So you're starting to get into the more branded ones. And there'll be detailed rhinestone reindeers, bells, and wreaths. Um, Here's the reindeers with the rhinestones. Heidi Doss has this nice reindeer that sold for $99. Not a lot of them are worth high money. Like this interesting one has a Hattie Carnegie because it has the name, it's worth higher amount, $60. But they're mostly in the they say in the 16 to $35 range. And gift sets are also a little bit better in this range. And then we reach the premium. Oh, here's some bells, $25 range, just average common Christmas bell brooches. And here's the margarita Christmas trees. They're all in the 20s that sold. I'm sure there's more out there, but these are the only three that popped up for me. These are pretty much your average margarita stone ones. And then
Those are always so
we're up.
disappointing because they're
Oh,
so
I'm
pretty.
sorry. They are pretty. I'm surprised they don't sell for more. Um, I'm still in the mid tier. So this is Liz Claiborne. I thought I would bring up hers. I I ended hers. I did hers that ended recently. She doesn't have a whole lot of high-end ones. More of when I do ended recently, it comes up more of the Christmas ones because people are word spamming with Christmas. So they're average. They say, like I said, 16 to $35. These are more in the teens. And then Avon, I thought I would bring up Avon as well because they must have this Christmas tree that's out there quite a bit that you might find. It's still a really good seller from like 27 to $60 here. And obviously it's the same tree. And then they have a couple, this 2013 Christmas poinsettia brooch sold for 45 and another poinsettia set for 30. This is a nice ornament one for 25. So Avon had some nicer ones. If you price it lower, it'll sell for lower too. So you kind of have to look at the wide range. And then $12 ones. So they can be really cheap. So you kind of have to look. See, this one was on bids and it only got 15. You really have to look at that particular tree or brooch, whatever it is. All right, now we're at the premium tier, which is $36 range to $75 range. And this targets collectors and vintage enthusiasts. And you'll see signed designer brooches like Weiss, Eisenberg Ice, and Swarovski, starting to get into a little bit nicer brands. Larger statement tree brooches with multicolored stones. Obviously, the rhinestone Christmas trees do better than the enamel ones. Limited edition or boxed Christmas pieces are from the known makers. Like we said, Weiss, Eisenberg, and Swarovski are in that range. 39.99 to 65 is pretty common range. So the Weiss Christmas trees with the candlesticks, I think Carrie's going to talk more about them. Uh, then what else do we have? Eisenberg Ice, I brought up a couple of theirs. They do have some really fantastic ones, but there is some cheaper ones too. So you really need to kind of glance through from highest to lowest or lowest to highest and see which ones are the cheaper ones. But here is some beautiful ones, 175. Well, this one ended at 200. So this real pretty, it looks like ice, like clear rhinestone one, 175. This tree ended up selling for 100, 101.95. So there's some $100 range ones. And I think I brought up some Swarovski. Yes. Swarovski's always good, but their Christmas trees do well. 150, 112. They have a snowman that sold for 100. A lot of pretty good prices on these, $50, $50. So I go down there. There's still some cheaper ones. Here's a stocking that's 16, sold for 25 here. See if this person maybe would have put it up for buy it now. They might have got more. And that's about it on Swarovski Christmas. So there's some cheaper ones that they might have been able to get a little bit more from. And then we have the luxury tier, which I kind of went through them. It's kind of the same brands, Eisenberg Ice, Swarovski, and Juliana. And in the rare emboxed Eisenberg, Christmas trees, vintage Christmas holiday designs, rare artist made or high-end boutique Christmas brooches. That's all in that luxury tier. You're going to get less frequent sales with these, but a higher profit per item when you buy them right. And the one thing that they suggest is listing early in the season. So September to October is the time frame they suggest. And I feel like AI kind of pulled out when they started selling. So you may want to start like in August, start listing these, if not now. Just get them up and in your store. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of stuff I need to list that's Christmas, and I've been kind of pushing off because I don't want it to fall way down in the algorithm before the season actually hits. So kind of waiting maybe till August. So what sells best across all tiers? This is based off of AI, is the Christmas trees. They're the top seller in every price range. Novelty pins like penguins or boots for a broader holiday appeal. Reindeer and Santa, especially in the $15 to $35 range. If you keep them priced right, they should sell around that season. Rhinestone heavy pieces, preferred across all levels. And vintage signed, of course, always boost the interest and the price. And specialty iconic pieces, branded or designer to attract collectors. And I found this Kirk's Folly necklace it's a necklace brooch. You see the back here. Sold for $74. And I also had showed you that Heidi Doss that sold for 90 to 100. And then we had snowflakes I thought I would bring up just to see if they were a thing. And there's this Anne Klein one that sold for $684. And this Sherman's another brand. We don't talk about Sherman much. If you find it, you might want to pick it up because it's a good brand to keep an eye out for. Some of these snowflakes get crossed over with flowers, so this one's a hard one to search as well. $51 for this lunch at the Ritz. This is a Juliana one, possibly. I got a fly joining me this morning. Let's see. Here's an ornament, a rare. Oh, it's a Lucinda pin. Sold for 40. That one makes me think she probably could have got more for it. Here's a snowman by Lucinda for 40. And I'm actually in snowflakes, not snowman. $30. So they're not really it looks like you need to look for the brand names. Sorry, I'm scrolling so fast here. I'm trying to get back up to the top. So some of the higher end ones his Anne Klein must be pretty rare. And Sherman. And of course, Trifari and some of the other good name brands. Then we have Brighton. I found some bracelets, charm bracelets in Brighton. Brighton always does well. For me, it does. But there's one called the Holiday Frolic. Do I have that pulled up? Yeah, here's the Holiday Frolic particular charm bracelet that sells pretty well. I don't think I'm on solds.
I was
25
gonna
to
say
39.
yeah, that sounds right. I've had a few
Yeah,
of them.
it's not high end, but here's another one that sold for 90. I'm trying to see if these are the same. And then there's another one called Santa Bell that you should keep an eye out for. There's a little fat Santa, real short fat Santa. I'm trying to find him. Maybe he's on my next tab. Nope. Then we go to Pandora. And Pandora charm bracelets always do well, but they're Christmas ones. And keep an eye out for them too. $180 for this one. 110 for this one.
How can you tell the Pandora just by looking at it?
They're usually marked
The bead
on
usually comes
the
open,
inside.
and they come open like the bead. It usually has the bead on the clasp and stuff. It like comes open and then it's marked inside the bead because there's tons of them that are lookalikes or whatever.
Yeah,
Tons of
this
them.
one's actually marked on the end one too, but it's usually around the rim. But this one, it must be a Swarovski collab. It's
Yep,
got
I
the
saw
little
that.
swan. Yeah, but that's
The
all I
Pandoras,
have.
if you don't see, like on the beads, they might not say Pandora, they might be marked as ALE 925. So
Yeah, that's
it's
another
also
one.
Pandora.
I'm
And this
not
one
convinced
says
this is one,
Cham.
just so you know. I'm not
What?
convinced this is one, but this
Oh,
one right here looks a little, that
But it
might be a
doesn't,
Pandora
it's not a
bead.
Pandora.
I
I
don't
was gonna say
know.
it might just be
Have that
just
one bead on it.
a bead.
Mm-hmm.
And that is ham a Pandora
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so.
or is it Swarovski? I don't know.
I don't know
I guess
either.
we could see. Variety
It's
of
that
charms.
designer right there that you just had your name on. It said it's from the designers
Chamil
Pandora and yeah, yep.
Chamilia. Yeah, anyway. But still Pandora beads would be good, no matter what.
That's a good point though,
And
Mindy,
while
because I never knew that. And then and somebody sold me a Pandora bracelet and it was super cheap and I thought I got ripped off because they all said ALE in the beads, but then I looked it up. So that's a good point because I didn't know that either.
So while I have my screen pulled up, that's all I have on Christmas, but I was working on lots this week and I keep trying to decide what to do with certain things and should I sell it on Facebook Marketplace? Should I just sell one huge lot of plastic beads? Is anybody going to want plastic beads? That type of thing. Plus, should I incorporate some into my other lots just to get rid of them? And I found this listing that sold for $147 and I was floored. It's all plastic beads. What? Oh, how come I can't sell them? I have huge lots of beads up now and they're not selling. I mean, she's got less less feedback than I do, so it's not like she
They
has a
must
lot more
be,
followers or something.
they must be blessed beads because they're from adored blessings.
Maybe. I need to bless mine then, I
People will
think.
buy big lots like that to make those curtains. That's how I sold mine last time. I sold mine a whole flat rate box full of cruddy beads for $100 because they were making those curtains, those, I don't know what they call them. You know,
What?
like the doorway
Them
curtains.
doorway.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, like the strings to walk through,
Mhm.
like in the 60s.
Yep.
Yeah, them are
The
cool. I
teenagers
would
are making
say
those.
glass would be cooler for that, but
Yes,
whatever.
yes, it would. You might get hurt though.
And this one, I was like, okay, so I had a lot of all the different cheaper, more modern acrylic beaded necklaces like this, kind of showing like this. And I'm thinking, okay, why didn't mine sell? Why did this one sell for $90? I can't sell mine for 25. And these are all flowers. Just, I don't
She's
know if
also got
that's
a
the
ton
thing
of
that makes
feedback, so she might have a big following.
yeah, maybe, but all modern. Thought that was an interesting one. And this Avon one, there's time it sold for 1,200. So there's there's been a couple circumstances where I was able to buy this big of a lot of Avon and I never took it. And then I got to thinking, maybe if I run across this again, I could just sell it as one big lot like this rather than piecing it out individually. Maybe it would be beneficial. I don't know.
Avon is hot right now, and I don't know why.
Isn't it?
So it's not hot individually on eBay so much. I don't feel like, however, like on Whatnot, people are having all Avon shows and they are killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I've
Avon
heard that.
shows and all Sarah Coventry shows, they are hot. I don't get it either. No idea.
And the Christmas brooches are selling. Like I was looking at when these things were selling, they sell all year. And like I sold 2 lots of Christmas wreaths just like last month. So they're
Mhm.
selling. So now's the
I sell
time
my
pretty
Christmas
much
all
to
year
get 'em
round.
up.
Like I don't think it's a bad idea what you're doing either, but I just get them up, get them sold. But I agree with you that I mean that's not wrong. You waiting at all. I just get them up because I don't want to lose them. Yeah, there's the Juliana tree, but somewhere else in my research there was one that said it was a Juliana tree, and I think they're lying. So I'm not really sure. I gotta look it up here. Hang on, I have all my stuff all prepared, and they're in the wrong. The Lucinda brooches, like don't hear that and then go out and start buying tons of Lucinda brooches. But the holiday ones, they do pretty good. Regularly, in lots, I think they do great, but I don't have a whole lot of luck with just the regular ones. But Irwin
I
Pearl,
do. Just sold one for 25 and listed another one for 25. Just
yeah, I
regular
mean, like
ones.
when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I wouldn't have probably listed it unless it was like 40 or over, but two of them together, I might. So it just depends on
I
what
only
your
pick bad ones on accident, so yeah, I'd only go for the
Yeah.
holiday ones. I couldn't even sell mine for $12, and then I ladded them up. I still couldn't sell them. I think.
Well, it's hard to tell which ones are bad and which
Yeah,
ones
so
are
I'd only get
good.
holiday. Yeah.
They're more like individualized. Like they're all like there's not a lot of repeats of them, I think.
Irwin Pearl is not like usually a super high end. So I was kind of shocked to see the tree. And maybe it's just because it was on the card, but even new, look at the price tag on it, was $185.
I would have never guessed that either.
And there's this
Wow.
JJ one. I'm like, what? I don't know.
Is that a tree
That one I was,
topper? No, that's a brooch.
it's a pin.
Wow.
Like I've been thinking I've gotten pretty lucky lately with some JJs I've been selling for $40 pretty regularly. So I thought those were pretty good. Well, nothing compared to that. Exactly what Lynn said. Some of the Eisenberg Ice ones are not worth a lot. And then some of them do really well. And they get really the Eisenberg Ice ones get really discolored on the back. I've had at least all the ones I've had, like the backs are like really gross, but they still sell. So just a note on that. I do not feel like the Christmas tree brooches are always the prettiest ones, aren't the ones that always bring the most money. I do not feel like I don't feel like that's a thing. Here's another Lucinda holiday one. And so Weiss, I always look for the 3 candles and the 7 candles, I think it is. This one, I don't know that I've ever ran across the 3 candle one, but you'll find lots of 6 candle Weiss. Those don't usually bring very much money or as much. But there's the 3 candle one and there's the signature. And there's a 7 candle one too. So 6, so here it's 6. It's 6. It is 6. Mine always get broken off when I find them. I don't know about you guys, but I find them and then like one of the candle tops is broke off. So nice. So it is 6. See, so is this from so over by where Lynn lives, there's somebody that sells a lot of Christmas tree brooches, and she'll be in our thing here in a minute. But she gets amazing amounts of money for all of hers, and we've never been able to figure out why. So you know. Stanley Hagler has pretty cool brooches in general, but not shocking that his Christmas tree one would be 225. I have yet to find one of those in the wild, a haggler, ever. This one was from Gale and Friends, and I don't know, but my Gale and Friends brooch did not sell. I don't know if it ever did sell. I don't know. It might still be in my store. I'm not really sure. So I don't know. But we used to see, when we used to research these together, we'd see these Gale and Friends ones a lot, and mine was no good.
That's the lady
I
who
just
sells
picked the
all the
bad one.
Christmas trees.
So here's the Juliana pin and earrings. It wasn't another tree, I guess. Let's see if we agree. I can't remember if I thought so or not. Yeah, I would.
Mhm.
I
Oh
would
no, up
say
in
it
the
is.
chat earlier, the Pittman book says it's only that one that was shown earlier. But maybe she
But
doesn't.
this,
Maybe she doesn't count that one as a Christmas tree.
because I think it is. It looks like it to me.
Yeah, maybe she just doesn't count it as a Christmas.
Yeah,
tree.
probably just meant for the brooch. But there's a whole lot of people that say a lot of things about Juliana that just aren't true. So here's a mosaic. It's missing one there. But pretty much any of the Trifari in this color pattern, the mosaics one does pretty good. And there's the signature on there. It would have brought a lot more if it hadn't been missing that chunk, because they do really well. Marvella is another one that's not usually overly, expensive, but
That's
I don't
unique.
it is unique. I just don't know that I would have picked it up thinking that. I just probably would not have.
Are these
I tried
items that are things that sold in the last 90 days, or are you
Yep.
doing a longer? Oh, okay.
Nope. 90 days. Here's the Hattie Carnegie. Of course, we might give Hattie another look, but still one we could find because it's
I
pretty
love
plain.
that one. It's beautiful.
It is very pretty. Here's another Lucinda one that's got it's on the little pin or on the little paper, and it's you could definitely walk right by this one. I probably have, in fact. Here's another haggler. Granted, our chances of finding these in the wild are probably a lot less, but they were really cool and they brought good money, so I thought I would share them. Here's a Lunch at the Ritz Christmas one, and it's pretty small. Little bitty one. And for Lunch at the Ritz, it's not very extravagant either. So I thought that was pretty good. Here's another different one from Lucinda, $394. That's crazy to me. Here's a Haskell. Look how small it is. It's still got the tag on it too. Back's different too. Would you have known that
Wow.
was her signature?
Heck, I would have never guessed that.
I wouldn't have known that.
That's obviously a new one.
MHNY. I would never have known that. That was a good learning tool for us. I had no idea. Here's a Lawrence Verba for Suzanne. Suzanne loves Lawrence Verba.
Well, between Hagler and Verba, I love them, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather spend that on a piece that I can wear every day instead of on Christmas. I'm not really into spending $400 on a brooch or something like that for Christmas.
That's seasonal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't own any jewelry, so I wouldn't know how that feels, but I thought this one was really cool. And I don't know that when I first look at that, I would have thought Christmas tree right away. I don't really know why I wouldn't, but I didn't. So I thought that was a really neat piece.
That's
And it doesn't really look like much. So we have to know what to ask. And I'm sure I messed Nikki Butler. So there were several Nikki Butlers that sold in this price range. That's another one I don't think I would have caught. Sometimes we see that new 925 and the India or the China, and we just think it's, nope, sometimes it's really good. So that one I would never have guessed. And there was lots of them in that brand. So I was like, wow. This one I thought was super cool. I don't know about $400 cool, but it was cool. So this one was a lot of 4, but it kind of maybe shows, I think that these two are probably the money makers on this. The Halloween and the Christmas.
Carrie, what are
This
the
one.
Lucinda
So that's
pins? Are those plastic? The Lucinda? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
So
And
much
that's
so
100
that right when I first started selling jewelry, I got a whole lot of them, and I was really mad that I got like a preschool project in the mail for my brooches, and I threw them all in the garbage.
No.
Well, and
They're
I still don't really keep them. I don't sell them very often, but I would the holiday ones.
Wow.
they are actually like paper, like cardstock and resin.
Wow.
They're not really plastic.
They
Hmm.
feel like, yeah, they feel cheap, and they feel like they feel like plastic.
Wow.
They are resin, but yeah, I agree they're resin, but they do feel like plastic. So I thought that they were I just thought they were junk. So threw them all in the garbage.
It's,
Oh,
she kind of had a cool story where she was homeless and she was looking for something to make money on, and she went in a dumpster, but I think behind Michael's or one of the craft stores, and started pulling stuff out, and there was tiny pieces of cardstock and stuff, and she started just being crafty and created several of them and started selling them and making money that way. And then she created this business as she got bigger and pulled in other homeless women to make money for themselves.
and I
So
think
it's
they
kind of
have
a
a
neat
line of that, don't
story.
they? They have a line that was for homeless advocacy, or it was something with the homeless women advocacy. There's a line of Housework
Yeah.
Lucinda that's that way. Hey, it's Carrie with Reseller Revenue. Just wanted to come on and let you know if you'd like to see more of this, if you'd like to see more of my daily calls Monday through Thursday, and you'd like to participate, please go to Reseller Revenue Patreon group, and that's how you join our Facebook group also, is through that link. And you can join our morning calls, which we meet every day, Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time. And then we have other calls afterwards, like we have a shoe call, a clothing call. We have a bunch of different kinds of calls. Also, the jewelry call that I do with Finds of Yesterday is on Tuesday mornings following the morning call. And also, you can get information on how to get personalized one-on-one coaching for an additional fee. From me, we'll review your store. We'll go through different ways you can improve your listings. So I'd love to have you. Please check out Resell Revenue on Patreon.